you get called in the middle of the night by Chris Lytle saying, I want rounds. You better wake up and go open that gym.
Be nice. No, but I know what you mean. Yeah, some people very closed off, and it's a private thing. I like the people who say, "Hey, come on, who wants to be here? We'll spar with anybody." I mean,
that's Louisville Combat Academy.
That's good. It's a good way to be.
On the other side of that token, one of my favorite gyms in our entire state, AFS head coach Scott Elliott, they say, you want to fight, you go to the streets. Or they're very, very tough on people going too hard in their gym. They don't just roll with anybody. They don't just spar with anybody, and they put out some of the best products ever in our state.
Sure.
I did some sparring there, and they were very nice to me. And what I mean by that is I sparred with some guys who could have easily messed me up. Zayd Hawkins, Gina.
Yeah.
Gina's son, Chris. They all could have hurt me.
But
they didn't.
That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about getting work in. Like, to me, a fight gym where you come in and you beat each other up, that's not good. No. That's not good for anybody, because you're not going to produce a lot of good fighters. You might have some really tough guys, but they're going to have short careers. Yeah. I feel like me as a professional for many years, I should be able to spar with a 14-year-old kid, an 81-year-old man, everybody. I should be able to fight and train and get something out of everything. So you don't want to hurt any of the people you're going with. You push them harder when they have a fight coming up, but you always got to be very careful. Some people come in trying to hurt you. That is a problem when you just let anybody in. I do understand the being selective and only letting certain people in, but I want the best people to come in and train with me at the same time, because there's only so many good people in your gym. You get used to those kinds. You need to bring new people in and have them, show them your skills and learn from them and everything. That's how you get better, by going against different people.
Yeah, you train with the same people all day, every day. They know your looks, you know theirs. It becomes stagnant after an amount of time. So you'd be tempted to let somebody in and get a different look, find out, hey, does this work or not?
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's somewhat of an inexact science, right?
100%. Like, there's pros and cons to different parts of it. I understand that,
I'm not preaching to you. I'm not trying to tell you anything.
I'm always up to listen to different people's perspective and everything. And I'll be honest with you, the more I do, the longer I've been around, the more I'm open to everything. Just, I'm not everything. Actually, I look at some things as a very bad idea, but I do know there's some good things to take out of a lot of different kind of styles and a lot of different kinds of techniques that people use and training-wise and everything. You got to be open-minded and take the good out of it, take the bad and get rid of it. Use the good.
Let me ask you about this. The one big thing that when I had this conversation that I had been able to point to, an interview with George St. Pierre. He says some guys when they're training for a fight, they'll go 20 10-minute rounds. They say George St. Pierre trains 5-5-minute rounds.
That's exactly what I'm a believer what George says.
I believe that.
Well, because when you do 20 10-minute rounds, it's a different pace, and then your body gets used to a certain pace, and that's not what you need. I learned that when I was doing those bare knuckle boxing. That's 2-minute rounds. If I'm training 5-minute rounds, I'm basically training to do a marathon, and I'm actually running a sprint.
Right.
What are you doing? You don't run long distance when you're a sprinter. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's the same thing. A 2-minute fight, you have to have that pace. So don't do 4-minute rounds. You got to do 2-minute rounds.
All right. I would be remiss if I don't mention my great friend Nick Maupin here. I was in the back. Nick tells me that I'm going to see redneck jiu-jitsu right now.
And he's going up against Ryan McIntosh. Been around forever, fought an awful lot. McIntosh is an extremely tough guy, but a lot of times he goes out there and looks great right away, and he kind of finds a way out of a fight sometimes. He has shown flashes where he can be a very good fighter, though, so you just never know which Ryan McIntosh is going to show up.
Yeah, that's the worst. And so Nick Maupin was actually scheduled on this card when this card was put into existence. He was right away going to make his second pro fight because Nick Maupin sells tickets. Since then, he's had one fighter pull out, two fighters pull out. This is now Nick's third scheduled opponent. I think McIntosh accepted this fight last week.
Yeah, originally Zach Orr.
Yeah, it was originally Zach Orr. I can't remember the second guy, and now McIntosh.
J.R. Hines.
J.R. Hines, that's right. And the bad part about it for Maupin is McIntosh is going to be the most difficult of the opponents he's been offered.
Well, the weird thing for McIntosh is getting a whole week's notice. Most of the time, let's see him fight. It sounds like 48 hours notice.
I feel like that's a recurring theme with him. You gotta love a dude that'll just pick it up and go fight.
I've always told the story. I remember watching Ryan McIntosh's son grapple on a Hard Rock card. He lost, but seeing the way that Ryan interacted with his son earned my respect. I respect him very much from what I saw from him as a father. I want to give a thanks to Gabe in Brooklyn. Thanks to Gabe for all of your support from everyone here at the B2 Fighting Series.
Hey, thanks a lot, Gabe. We really appreciate that. Awesome to have you paying attention. Nick coming straight forward, wanting to close the distance here. Looks like he wants to walk through.
McIntosh is a little bit longer. Nick doing a good job of holding down the center, keeping McIntosh on the cage.
Looks like he's really not showing much respect for what McIntosh has to offer. He's not scared of right in front of him the whole time.
Nick is so ornery when it comes to fighting.
Wow, and just like that, like I said, he wasn't showing him much respect right there, and he paid the ultimate price for it right there. Like I said, you never know what you're going to get when McIntosh comes in there. It looked like a kind of a perfect fight for him. Nick stayed right in front of him, and he paid the price. Wow, and this place just got suddenly very quiet.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that came here to see Nick win. So we hate that.
Ryan McIntosh for that chance to right the ship for a long time. He's always chasing that.
Like I said, he comes in last minute. He's tough to fight. He's had a lot of fights, a lot of experience. And like you said earlier, Nick came in. This was his toughest opponent of his last, 3 that he was supposed to fight here in the last week, and that's what happens.
Nick Maupin is okay.
The referee has called a stop to this fight at 49 seconds, declaring the winner by knockout, Ryan McIntosh.
Yeah, and I like the respect being shown by both guys.
Great respect.
Because here's the thing, Nick was just walking through, just waiting to land that punch, but he got hit before it happened. So I don't care what people say. You look at somebody's record, it might not be the greatest, but when they've had that many pro fights, there's a level of just respect that you have to show that person, because they know fighting through all those losses, wins, everything they have, that's a difficult fight to take on for a guy who hasn't had a lot of fights.